Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into Chapter 18 of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, titled, When You'll Believe Anything. In this chapter, Housel explains how our understanding of money is often influenced more by stories than by logic or data. If you've ever made a financial decision based on a gut feeling or a compelling narrative, you're not alone. Our brains are wired to seek patterns and attach meaning to the events around us. This can be helpful in some ways, but dangerous when it leads to misguided beliefs or financial mistakes. Let's explore how stories shape our perception of money and why it's so important to separate fact from fiction in our financial lives. Introduction to Chapter 18. When You'll Believe Anything, Housel begins this chapter by pointing out that humans are story-driven creatures. We process the world through narratives that make complex concepts easier to understand. While this tendency helps us navigate life, it can also lead us astray when it comes to money. In finance, people often believe stories that fit their worldview or offer comfort, even if those stories don't align with reality. The danger here is that believing the wrong narrative can result in poor financial decisions. Core concepts from Chapter 18. Housel unpacks several key ideas in this chapter. 1. Stories are more powerful than data. Humans are naturally drawn to stories because they're more engaging and easier to remember than raw data. For example, hearing about someone who became a millionaire by investing in a single stock is far more compelling than reading about the statistical improbability of that success. The problem is that stories often oversimplify or distort reality, leading us to make decisions based on anecdotal evidence rather than facts. 2. Confirmation bias reinforces beliefs. We tend to believe stories that align with our existing beliefs and reject those that challenge them. For instance, if you believe that hard work always leads to wealth, you might ignore evidence of systemic inequality or luck's role in success. This bias can prevent us from seeing the full picture and making balanced financial decisions. 3. Financial myths are persistent. Certain financial myths persist because they're easy to understand and emotionally satisfying, even if they're not true. For example, the idea that investing in real estate is always safer than investing in stocks is a common myth. While it's true in some cases, the reality is much more nuanced. 4. Stories simplify complexity. The world of finance is incredibly complex, and stories often serve as a way to make sense of it. While the simplification can be helpful, it can also be misleading. For example, the rags to riches narrative often ignores the role of luck, timing, and privilege. Storytelling moments. Housel uses several anecdotes to illustrate the power of stories in shaping our financial beliefs. The dot-com bubble. One story Housel highlights is the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. At the time, the prevailing narrative was that technology stocks were a guaranteed path to wealth. This belief drove people to invest heavily in internet companies, many of which had no solid business model. When the bubble burst, countless investors lost their savings, proving that even the most compelling narratives can lead to disastrous outcomes when they're not grounded in reality. The lottery dream. Another example is the persistent allure of the lottery. Despite the astronomical odds, people continue to play because the story of winning big and changing your life overnight is so powerful. This narrative taps into our desire for instant gratification and our belief in the possibility of extraordinary luck. Key takeaways. Here are the most important lessons from Chapter 18. 1. Question the stories you believe. Before making financial decisions, take a step back and ask yourself whether the narrative you're following is backed by evidence or driven by emotion. 2. Be wary of oversimplification. Recognize that most financial concepts are complex. Be cautious of stories that seem too neat or simplistic. 3. Acknowledge the role of bias. Understand that your beliefs about money are influenced by your experiences, emotions, and worldview. Try to challenge these biases by seeking out diverse perspectives. 4. Separate fact from fiction. While stories can be inspiring, they're not always a reliable guide for financial decisions. Focus on data, research, and logic to make informed choices. Why it matters. This chapter is a wake-up call for anyone who's ever been swayed by a compelling financial narrative. By understanding the power of stories and their potential pitfalls, we can 1. Make better decisions. Recognizing the influence of narratives helps us think critically and avoid making impulsive or emotional choices. 2. Avoid common traps. By questioning popular financial myths, we can protect ourselves from scams, bubbles, and other pitfalls. 3. Cultivate financial empathy. Understanding that others' financial beliefs are shaped by their own stories can make us more empathetic and less judgmental. Practical applications. Here's how you can apply the lessons from this chapter to your own financial journey. 1. Do your research. Don't rely solely on anecdotes or success stories. Take the time to understand the data and research behind any financial decision you're considering. 2. Challenge your beliefs. Ask yourself whether your financial habits are based on evidence or rooted in stories you've absorbed over time. 3. Diversify your sources of information. Seek out multiple perspectives to get a well-rounded view of any financial topic. 4. Stay grounded in reality. While it's okay to be inspired by success stories, remember that they often represent the exception, not the rule. Expanding the conversation. This chapter raises some thought-provoking questions. What's one financial myth or story you used to believe that turned out to be untrue? How do you ensure that your financial decisions are based on facts rather than emotions or narratives? Let's discuss in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Closing thoughts. Chapter 18 of The Psychology of Money is a powerful reminder that while stories can inspire and guide us, they can also mislead us if we're not careful. By questioning the narratives we believe and focusing on evidence, we can make smarter, more informed financial decisions. Call to action. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a chapter breakdown. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the psychology of money. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we'll explore even more fascinating insights into the world of money and human behavior. Until next time, remember, the best financial decisions are grounded in reality, not just stories. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.